Hi, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to introduce 4 individuals who held the torch for the concept of cosmic consciousness in the West. This information is based on a paper by philosophy professor Jonardon Ganeri, who works for the University of Toronto and is specializing in philosophy of mind and in South Asian and Buddhist philosophical studies. As usual, you can find links to that paper and to the books covered in the description below. In Western academic circles, the phrase cosmic consciousness is usually met with skepticism or even ridicule. This is due to various reasons which highlight underlying tensions between empirical, rational methods of acquiring knowledge on the one side, and those that are more mystical or speculative in nature. Let's look at some of the factors that stand in the way of embracing the concept of cosmic consciousness in the West. In Western philosophy, especially in the 20th and 21st centuries, empirical and analytical views have been given a lot of weight. The focus on strong logic, real-world experience and scientific methods has often left little room for ideas that people think are mysterious or can't be immediately tested in the real world or analyzed logically. A materialistic view of the world, which sees the physical world as the only or main reality, is common in Western science and by extension in many philosophical circles. People are skeptical of ideas that suggest a form of cosmic consciousness or reality beyond the physical because they go against the idea that everything is made of matter. There's a significant reluctance to mix scientific and spiritual or mystical explanations in Western thought. In Eastern philosophies and some indigenous traditions, spiritual or metaphysical aspects are much more easily integrated. However, Western tradition usually keeps these aspects strictly separate. There isn't a single agreed upon definition of cosmic consciousness, which makes it hard to understand. It can be interpreted in a lot of different ways, from mystical experiences and higher states of awareness, to views of the universe that are more pantheistic or panentheistic. Because it is not clear, it might be thrown out as vague or not based on anything. The term has been linked to counterculture movements and New Age beliefs, especially those that were popular in the 60s and 70s. These movements did add spiritual and psychological ideas to the cultural conversation, but more traditional academic and scientific communities didn't trust them and criticized them. This historical background can make people think that cosmic consciousness is on the fringes of science and not real. Despite all these challenges, people are becoming more interested in fields of study that combine science and religion, like transpersonal psychology and neurotheology. These fields study different states of consciousness, mystical experiences, and the possibility of the bigger picture of consciousness. But how did the concept of cosmic consciousness seep into the Western thought in the first place? Well, there have always been individuals who stood up for what they believe to be true despite societal backlash. Let's look at 4 such pioneers today. It is fair to attribute the introduction and propagation of the term cosmic consciousness within Western philosophy to Edward Carpenter, Richard Maurice Buck, William James, and Ralph Waldo Emerson. The term cosmic consciousness was coined and introduced to Western philosophical discourse by Edward Carpenter. He was an English poet, philosopher, had read the Bhagavad Gita and visited Sri Lanka and India where he met a sage called Ramaswamy. Carpenter described the experience of cosmic consciousness as a feeling of all-encompassing spaciousness and of the oneness of all life. Carpenter argues that there exists a form of consciousness in which the individual's personality is surpassed, resulting in a perception that individual character differences are unimportant and the sense of separateness between individuals is considered artificial. The Canadian psychiatrist Dr. Richard Maurice Buck wrote a book published in 1901 entitled Cosmic Consciousness, A Study in the Evolution of the Human Mind. Buck's book outlines his theory of the evolutionary development of human consciousness, categorizing it into simple consciousness, self-consciousness, and cosmic consciousness. He suggests that cosmic consciousness is a higher form of consciousness that represents an understanding of the cosmos as a more integrated whole. Buck also provides examples of individuals that he believes were endowed with cosmic consciousness. He also describes his own experience of consciousness as a sense of exaltation, immense joyousness, and intellectual illumination. Insights that he had while being in this state of mind were: the American philosopher William James also spoke of cosmic consciousness in an essay called The Confidences of a Psychical Researcher. James was involved in the London Society for Psychical Research from its founding in 1882. He was a prominent philosopher and psychologist, explored varieties of religious experience and mystical states. James analyzed mystical experiences, including those that could be classified under the umbrella of cosmic consciousness. It was William James's opinion that the cosmos is conscious. It is not itself personal, but has a will to personate, a craving to consolidate itself into individual persons. Ralph Waldo Emerson was an American philosopher, lecturer, and poet who led the transcendentalist movement of the mid-19th century. He was often associated with transcendentalism, didn't specifically use the term cosmic consciousness, but his essays and lectures, especially Nature and the Oversoul, promote ideas that resonate with the concept. Emerson spoke of an overarching unity that connects humanity, nature, and the divine, suggesting a form of consciousness that transcends individuality and taps into a universal spirit. He described the idea of the Oversoul, within which every man's particular being is contained and made one with all other. The central message Emerson drew from his Asian studies was that the purpose of life was spiritual transformation and direct experience of divine power here and now on earth. All of those thinkers in different ways helped to plant and spread the idea of cosmic consciousness in Western thought, which had an impact on philosophers, psychologists, and spiritual seekers who came after them. Collectively, their works point to a bigger and more connected and higher level of consciousness that goes beyond what each person knows about themselves. There are two major ways that we can interpret the concept of cosmic consciousness. One approach is bottom-up, the other one is top-down. Psychological monism is the bottom-up view and holds that there is a mode of consciousness in which everything is experienced as being one with everything else. This mode of consciousness can serve to justify a range of egalitarian and cosmopolitan beliefs, such as the belief that everyone, as members of a common humanity, is equal. So this view of cosmic consciousness takes the view of the individual and holds out the prospect that there is a realm of existence that is attainable for the individual. It emphasizes the experiential, subjective realization of oneness with the universe. The second view is top-down. It is the view that the cosmos as a whole is a conscious entity and that the consciousness exhibited by the cosmos is the metaphysical grounding to the consciousnesses of individual subjects of experience. So this view of cosmic consciousness takes the view of the totality and sees the individual as an aspect or expression of the totality. Cosmic consciousness serves as a fundamental aspect of reality from which individual consciousnesses emerge. Cosmopsychists do not deny the existence of a plurality of conscious individual subjects of experience, but regard them as metaphysically grounded in the basic foundational consciousness. I hope I was able to demonstrate that the concept of cosmic consciousness is not some aloof idea reserved to esoteric or New Age circles. It has been researched by notable philosophers in the past, even in the West. I personally was surprised to read about who actually held the torch for such concepts, and I'm interested in going back to some of those sources and understand their train of thought. If you would like to study this as well, you can find links to the books of those 4 authors in the description box below. I hope this was worth your time. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.